Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your daily tarot and astrology reading for Monday, September 9th of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hopefully, you guys had a wonderful weekend. Let's go ahead and hop into today's video, see what the cards have to say, see what the planets are doing, so we can see how you can be better prepared to navigate these celestial energies. Let me actually shuffle the deck. I pulled them out by accident. I normally shuffle them beforehand, but I didn't shuffle them this time. So, how is everything going? This week we'll be back to the normal schedule with the daily videos, and then the Cosmic Convergence will be coming out on Tuesday. I'll be doing that on Tuesday. Haven't quite picked the time yet, but it'll be on that day. Then we'll actually have a little bit of bonus content. I actually have another video in mind that I'm going to be making, so be on the lookout for that as well. So, let me see what we got going on for the cards. Get a better shuffle. That one was not the best. That's a little bit better. There we go. Let's see what we have today. I have the World card in reverse. The World card in reverse. You know, this does signal, things coming to an end, cycles coming to an end, but with the World in reverse, this does mean that the cycles that are coming to an end, or the revelations that could be coming up, could be rather shocking. Kind of turn the world upside down, if you will. So this is shocking revelations, things kind of coming out of nowhere, surprise endings, if you will, endings that we did not see coming. What else do we have here with the World card in reverse? We also have the Six of Cups in reverse. So, the Six of Cups is the card of nostalgia. It's the card of looking back at our childhood. It's the card of comfortable times. It's that card of chilling with your siblings when you're younger and your cousins and all that sort of stuff. And that time, when you were playing outside with your friends and you didn't know that was going to be the last time that you played with them. But this card is in reverse, so I think, this can be one of those things where, maybe those comfortable things or the things that we've kind of gotten used to, maybe those are the things that are coming to an end. The nostalgia goggles are on, and maybe we have to finally take those nostalgia goggles off on a day like today. It can definitely make things a little bittersweet. So I feel like there's a bit of a bittersweet energy to the day here with that Six of Cups in reverse. Astrologically, we will see Mercury actually come into Virgo today. And we're going to see that moon finish up in Scorpio, where it's been over the weekend. So Mercury is going to enter back into Virgo. It's definitely going to be feeling a bit better. It is still in its shadow, mind you. So it still has a little bit to go before it's in its shadow, but it's moving a lot faster now. So Mercury is definitely very happy. This moon today is going to come out of its fall position, but before it does that, it is going to make some other aspects. Namely, it's going to make an opposition over to Uranus at 27 degrees. It's going to make a trine over to Neptune at 28 degrees as well. And it will make a sextile over to Pluto at 29. So it does make some aspects here versus the opposition. This moon in Scorpio, now we are responding and reacting in a more scorpionic way. So maybe there's a bit of a hot and coldness to it. Maybe there's a bit of mysteriousness to this. Maybe there's a little bit of a hidden secretive energy here. And whenever you have oppositions, it's talking about challenges, collisions, if you will. And this Uranus is here in Taurus. Now, the good thing about this opposition is that it is mutual reception. We've been getting these mutual receptions because Uranus falls in Taurus and the moon falls in Scorpio. So they much rather switch places. So that's the interesting thing about this, is that even though this moon is here in Scorpio, it does not necessarily feel good. It can definitely make feelings a bit more intense. It makes everyone want to brood a little bit more, because Scorpio is definitely brood. This Uranus in Taurus is about, finding that common ground, if you will, especially when it comes to larger groups of people. I mean, Taurus is literally the ground, right? Uranus is the sky god, and he's grounded right now. Uranus is actually in timeout right now by being in Taurus, right? So there's this interesting thing here too where it's like we have to, it's about finding that common ground with people, larger groups of people, trying to get on the same wavelength. And I think the thing that can unite people right now is that with that moon in Scorpio, yeah, no one's necessarily feeling necessarily, you know, all the way there, or they're feeling their emotions a lot deeper than they normally would. And not everyone's able to really handle that. The good thing is that with that Uranus and Taurus, Uranus is electricity and Taurus is the ground. So it's about how can we ground that energy, especially when it comes to these emotions, these deeper emotions. How can we actually ground that energy so it doesn't just overtake us? So it doesn't just, like I said, it can be very, very hot and cold. It's fixed water, so it's ice. And it's interesting how you can get frostbite or you can get burned by ice. It's so cold that it actually burns your skin, right? Sometimes that's how the emotions can be when the moon's in Scorpio. Sometimes it's so cold it burns. How can we take that energy and those emotions that can be a little bit more intense and learn how to ground it, if you will, right? Now, we will also see this moon make a trine over to Neptune. Now, of course, this does bring up a harmonious aspect, albeit probably not the easiest one to deal with because Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. It's very strong. And honestly, most aspects of Neptune are going to present some sort of challenge, even if it's a little bit more on the positive end. Especially with this moon that is here in Scorpio here. The weird thing about this trine is that, you know, if you're unable to kind of ground things with the Uranian energy here in Taurus, then you may open yourself up to indulging with that Neptune right here, right? And this is earlier in the day, right? So it's like you don't want to really start your day off indulging in anything, trying to escape your emotions. That's the other thing about this trine is that it will open up an avenue to potentially escape some things, escape situations, escape your thoughts, especially with that sun in Virgo, right? Which is now going to start opposing Neptune over like like a week from now, but it's still building up. It's like we don't want to necessarily face reality. By the time that the moon reaches Neptune, the sun is going to be within a week of opposing it. Actually, probably sooner than that, right? So we are kind of in like this middle period right now because like I said we will actually see this moon square the sun soon, so we're about to get that first quarter square, and we will see it of course square Neptune. This is an opportunity right here though with this moon trining over to Neptune, that even when things don't necessarily feel the best, that we don't feel the need to have to just escape into fantasy world, we can make the best out of these situations and still remain in our spiritual integrity, right? Now, we will also, of course, see this moon make a sextile over to Pluto, and that caps off the moon in Scorpio energy. We'll see this around a little in the afternoon here, early afternoon here on the East Coast, your late morning on the West Coast. Of course, your afternoon going into your evening over there in Europe, or even like your nighttime, on the other side of the world too. The sextile to Pluto opens up a nice opportunity for us to, what's Pluto and Capricorn doing? Is not only is it, of course, revealing different things about maybe the lack of integrity in people, but this can also offer up an opportunity for you to take on that responsibility, to be responsible, to do the thing that is in your integrity, right? To do the adult thing, to, even though it may not necessarily feel the best right now, even though the emotions may feel intense, this will give you the opportunity to do the hard thing, right? To do the hard thing, because that's where the true reward lies, is by doing the hard thing and not doing the quick fix energy, you know, take this and you'll feel better, but by like actually processing it and doing the thing and making it through. And then once that happens, we'll see that moon slip into Sagittarius. And of course, as soon as that moon slips into Sagittarius, what does it do? It squares Mercury. So this moon is kind of under assault today. I'm not even gonna lie. It's dealing with an opposition, a trine to Neptune that's going to want it to escape, and then the sextile Pluto in Capricorn, which we're not going to be seeing this too much more. This Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees, it's going to be here, you know, until November, right? And then we'll ever see it again. So these are some of your final opportunities when it comes to the moons and Scorpios to really, like, these deeper emotions that may come up, that may erupt up, to really process those things that you've kept hidden. Because Scorpio, what is this? Like this, a lot of the things that we hide in our closets, the things that we keep secretive. This gives us an opportunity to really bring those emotions up and to confront them, and to do so in a constructive and mature way. So this is some of the last times you're going to get to do that. Now, as soon as the moon comes out of Scorpio, it goes into Sagittarius and it squares over to Mercury. This moon in Sagittarius is going to be much more so focused on what we believe. What we believe, what we want to be true. And Mercury is going to be about what actually is true. And now that it is coming forward, it's covering this zone that it's already gone over. So there are going to be some revisions that come up here. Some answers will get revealed here. But the moon in Sagittarius, especially being 0 degrees, is going to make things rather sensitive, because it's going to bring about that pure energy of Sagittarius, the shooting from the hip kind of energy, where you wear your heart on your sleeve, and square over to Mercury, which is in its strength in Virgo, being a traditional ruler of Virgo. This is going to be that moment where emotionally we may feel like a certain belief is what it should be and that it's true, but what if it's not true? With the Mercury in Virgo, what if it's not true? What if there's more facts that need to come out? And this is the challenging part of this Monday, is that facts don't care about your feelings. You know what I mean? Facts don't care about your feelings. And it's just, and not to say that your feelings are invalid, but there is a challenge here, because we're all going to be feeling more Sag-like. We're all going to be wanting to feel more positive, optimistic, but also a little bit more lackadaisical, a little bit more big picture, whereas Mercury is focused on the details. So we may have these ideals and aspirations, looking at the big picture of things, but not considering the Mercury and Virgo, the small details on how things actually function on a day-to-day basis, not just the big visions, right? Then we'll see that moon make a quincunx over to Mars here at 3 degrees. It's the last major aspect that it makes on the day. And that's going to bring up some awkward energy, of course, because Mars, of course, falls in Cancer. And this is going to be sort of that moment. Now we're responding and reacting, still in that Sagittarius way, but there's an awkward aspect to Mars, and where Mars in Cancer may have us acting impulsively based off of our emotions, because now this moon is dispositing this Mars, because it does rule Cancer, right? So it actually makes this moon a little bit weaker, because a fallen planet is in its home sign. So ultimately, you really don't want to get too wrapped up into your initial emotional reactions. This is a day where you're going to have to learn how to process them and try not to react too fast. May even have to bite your tongue a little bit as well, because even though I feel like our heart is probably in the right place, there's an element here where we may jump the gun a little bit, and you don't want to say something that you don't mean. You don't want to react in a way volatilely and not be able to take it back, because that's kind of the weird thing with a day like today, right? Final card of the day is the 7 of Cups. This is nice because it does let us know that we have options. So I think even if things don't go necessarily the way that we want to go, we do actually have options, and that we're not just getting pigeonholed into one thing. So that's the beautiful thing about it. So if you go throughout this day and you feel like something may not necessarily be going your way, and you feel like it's all over with that World card in reverse and the good old days are gone with that 6 of Cups in reverse, know that you have options, and know that it's not the end of the world. It's just we're having to make a pivot, and it's just something that we're going to have to be okay with, right? We're going to have to learn how to adapt. Today is all about adaptability, right? So, sacred geometry card of the day is the card of delight. This is actually one of my favorite cards in this deck, the card of delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we invoke in others. And I think that's really what it comes down to. We have to be able to look on the positive side of things. I think the moon going into Sag will help with that, but there will be some challenges because we'll be facing some facts of our reality that may not necessarily feel the most delightful. How can you find the delight in those situations? You see this card, how bright and sunny and cheery it is? It's a very bright card, right? It's a very bright and cheery card. So it's about, how can we remain like this? It's about being light, the light, the light, the light. How can you be the light in your life today? And therefore be a light onto other people. This is not something that anybody can make you do or tell you how to do. It's something that you're going to have to figure out on your own. But you have days like that. We all have days where we are the light. And everybody that we meet is in a positive mood. It's because you're the light. We also have days where we're not feeling so much like that. And we're moody and it's just a hard day and stuff. But we all have had days where it just feels like everything is going right and everything's beautiful. We have to be able to be that light, even if we find ourselves in a very dark room. That is going to do it for your daily tarot and astrology reading for this Monday, September 9th, 2024. I trust that this message will assist you on your journey today, and I thank you, of course, for watching me. You all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.